Welcome to Take It from the Iron Woman. My name is Susanne Müller, your host and the Iron Woman. This podcast is about empowering yourself and others to make real changes in the world. You will hear from everyday, smart, sophisticated, hip people like you and me. Not everybody has to be an Iron Woman to impress the world. Together, we will learn from the sports and business leaders how you can become a more successful person as an entrepreneur or a leader. It's one step at a time, one day at a time. Take your steps now. Take your big steps now. Join me on this journey to success. Take It from the Iron Woman. We only have special guests, and today I'm really honored to talk to the CEO of Run, Try, Bike, Jason. I don't even know how we got connected. There was like a sports business post on LinkedIn, and somebody said, you need to connect with that guy. And I was like, all right, let me connect. Obviously, when you're into sports, you always want to connect with other people who are into sports. But Jason, introduce yourself a little bit, and then we'll dig in what you're doing and what we can do for the end of the year and the beginning of the year.
Fantastic. Thank you for having me on. I always find it so wild how people do connect to each other when we're involved in whatever we're involved in, whatever our hobbies are. My name is Jason Bahamundi. I am the founder of Run, Try, Bike, which is a community of everyday athletes that is proving that there is a spot at the starting line for every body and every body. I am an 8-time Ironman finisher, an 8-time 100-mile ultra trail finisher. I finished the inaugural Cocodona 250 back in 2021. I love endurance sports, but I also love business and finance. I love sports from the major sports, so baseball, basketball, football. I love politics. I just enjoy life as a whole. It's because of if you remember, parents always talking about their kids who you just ask one-word questions, which is why. I don't think I ever lost that out of my youth. I am always asking why.
Why are you doing this? So now that's my question for you.
Which one? The participating or running the business, or both?
Well, both. This is what I'm interested in. Global business coaching with sports parallels. 8 times Ironman finisher. Congratulations. That's a lot of work. 8 times 100 ultra marathon. This is even more work, in my opinion. You have done it, and now you're building a community, but also it's a business. What can you take from the training for all those events into building the business and the community, obviously?
That's a great question. The thing that unites the two of those concepts of training and racing and running a business is consistently showing up. In order for me to be prepared and ready to race on race day, I have to consistently show up in the days, weeks, and months prior to the event, according to my training calendar. When it comes to running a business, you have financial goals, the same way in sport you have finish time goals. And so you have to work and show up consistently on a daily basis to get to those goals. I do want to caveat that. When I say consistently, that doesn't mean constantly. With training, your body and mind physically needs rest and recovery. When you're running a business, your body and mind also need rest from the business. And so it's very easy, especially today with the technology that we have, to become a 24/7 entrepreneur. One of the things that I have learned repeatedly is if you're squeezing the business too tight, nothing will come from it. Eventually, you're going to squeeze all of the juice out of it. I've learned to open up my hand around the business and allow others to help me, allow others to participate with me, collaborate, partner, and I see the business flourish. And I would take that into the sports world too. You can train on your own. Don't get me wrong. I've ridden my bike for 100 miles by myself. I've run 20 miles by myself. I've swam 2 miles by myself. But when you bring people into the fold with you, it becomes a lot more enjoyable. You have camaraderie and connection and friendships and relationships that bloom from doing the hard thing together. That's another parallel, right? Bring people in to, whether you're participating in sport or running a business, to collaborate with, ask questions of, bounce ideas off of. Otherwise, you get stuck in your own head. And sometimes it can become a negative loop. A client doesn't pay. And so you're worried about getting that invoice settled. And then you start looking at the bills that are piling up. And then you might make a decision to do something that you would not have done that may cause a downslide in the business. Whereas if you talk to people, you can come up with ideas and ways that are more beneficial than the downslide and turn that negative, oh, this client hasn't paid me, whatever it is. It might be net 30 and it's, day 35, day 45. Connect with them, reach out to them and figure out ways to maybe it's a payment plan this time or whatever it might be. Use ideas. And the only way you're going to do that is if you talk to other people. Because if you're in your own head, you're going to be like, this client has not paid me and I'm getting angry and it just becomes negative thoughts instead of going positive and trying to uplift yourself out of that hole that has been dug.
You just said it, positive thoughts, right? So in sports, obviously, especially in ultra marathons, I can imagine it's about the positive thoughts, all the negative thoughts. We know from neuroscience, our brain is geared that we just the first 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds, we go to the negative. So you have to train yourself to have those positive affirmations. And it's the same in business. It's about building relationship, building trust, and then life gets a little easier, I think. And I also like the support. I remember when I trained for my Ironman, I invited my friends to help me do the 100-mile bike rides. And it was actually fun. Oh, let's go longer. Oh, let's do this together. And training is much more fun and also easier in a way.
Yeah, and they help you get better. I had a friend who has since passed, but out of the 8 Ironman races I did, I think we trained for 5 or 6 of them together. He was a phenomenal cyclist. And when I tell you he would blow me away, I'm not even exaggerating one bit. So when I started training with him, I was probably riding my bike at 15 miles an hour, give or take 16 miles an hour. By the time I did my last race with him, I raced Ironman Chattanooga, which is not the easiest of bike courses, and I averaged over 20 miles an hour on the Ironman bike course. It was progress over 5 years. It was getting dropped by him on a regular basis, seeing him getting better, getting stronger, becoming a better athlete. And whenever he called to say, do you want to go ride, whether it was 20 miles or 100 miles, I said yes every single time so that I could show up consistently and learn from him and get better at cycling because of him. That also is something about business, right? Go to the conferences, have the coffee with the person who says, hey, I'd love to chat with you. Connect with somebody. If you have a friend who says, hey, I'm going to connect you via email, don't just ignore the email. Respond to that person. Maybe nothing comes of it, but maybe something comes of it. And so again, it just goes to that whole idea of showing up consistently in being present for your own business or for your own physical nature because you're competing in sport.
So true. So true. And let's talk a little bit about the community because you talk about the everyday athlete. Obviously, we're all inspired by, are you winning, the winner? But we know we all start at the same start line and we finish at the same finish line. So who are those everyday athletes that you are or that support you and that you are supporting? It's a two-way street. So everybody's supporting each other.
Yeah, 100%. To put words to who is that athlete, it is for us at Run Try Bike, it is the athlete who is coming back from alcohol and drug abuse. It is the athlete who just gave birth and is working their way through potentially postpartum depression. It is the first timer who has decided that running, swimming, or cycling is going to be a way for them to lose weight. It's going to be that athlete who is using sport to deal with depression, maybe the loss of a family member. It is the person who's doing everything in life and wants sport to complement it. Those are who we talk to on a regular basis. They aren't the paid athletes. They are the ones paying to participate in the sports. It's a cliche when people say it's a judgment-free zone. But for us, when I talk to the athletes, when I interview them on our podcast or for articles on our website, I don't know that I've ever asked, how fast did you run that marathon or how fast did you finish that Ironman? Because in reality, I don't care. It's not something that's of importance to me. What's important to me is, why did you do it? How did you get through it? Who did you lean on? What did you learn? That to me those are the important questions. And those are the answers the everyday athletes want to tell you, because a lot of everyday athletes, are also conscientious about their paces, right? They will always say things like, I just ran a 5K. And I think to myself, that's not a just, that's a big deal. You ran 3 miles, or my marathon finish time is 5 hours and 8 minutes. It's slow for me or slow for others, and it's perspective. You did the thing, and I want to celebrate that. When we're asking them questions that don't revolve around those metrics, then we get eyes light up, smiles on faces, and the real depth of the human connection that we're all seeking, especially in today's digitally unconnected world that we live in.
That's amazing. And we all completed something. So it's kind of like the journey that you have until you complete something. And again, it goes to the consistency that you were mentioning earlier. And I remember you had a fantastic panel with people, sports psychologists. Tell us a little bit, we're coming into 2026. Tell us a little bit about the vision that you have for Run, Try, Bike, and how can people connect with you?
Sure. Our handles on all of our social medias are at RunTryMag. And so if you go to runtrymag.com or any of the social platforms, you will find us there. Our vision and mission hasn't changed from the day I started the business, which is to prove that there is a spot at the starting line for everybody and every body. How we do that has changed. One of the things that we launched earlier this year in 2025 was the Everyday Athlete Clubhouse. My vision is to continue to grow the clubhouse through next year in 2026, which is we're going to have a run club tour. Santino, our community manager, my wife Lori, and myself, we're going to travel from city to city over the course of 6 or 8 months and looking to meet, or run with people, coffee and conversation, panel discussions, to connect with each other so that we can build a deeper community, I guess, deeper connections. That's what we're looking for 2026 is deeper connections with as many people as we can touch.
Cool. You will tell us where you are and people can just come and run with you or bike or whatever is possible for them.
So we have a really cool idea. We're going to create t-shirts that look like concert t-shirts. So they'll have all the locations on the back of where we're going to be. I can tell you right now we've pretty much finalized that we'll be at the Oakland Marathon. We'll be at the Salt Lake City Foothills Trail Festival. We will be at the San Francisco Marathon, and we will culminate the year with Hustle in the Heartland in Indiana, which is an 8-hour looped event put on by one of our partners. And so it's a 1-mile loop. So it'll be super accessible for athletes of all shapes, sizes, and capabilities because it's a 1-mile loop. So you don't have to worry about placing things and misplacing things and take the stress off of yourself and just come and run for as many miles as you want over the course of 8 hours.
And if you have some tips for the everyday runner, obviously we're starting 2026. What would those tips be?
Define your goals. How do I emphasize your any more than saying it louder, I guess? Don't be swayed by what your favorite influencer is going to be doing in 2026. What are your goals? What is your A goal? What is the most important thing? And so for me, I will say this, in 2025, my most important goal was to race and finish Javelina 100. And so all the other races leading up to that event were great to participate in, but they didn't have the importance. And so my performance wasn't measured as if it was an A race for me. It's really important because a lot of those interim races are building blocks. What is the goal for that particular race and how it gets you to your A race is something you should really sit down and understand. Don't rush through it. I know in today's world, we want to get to everything and do everything constantly. Block out your calendar for 60 minutes. Write down your goals. Is it to run 500 miles, 1,000 miles? Is it to cycle 2,000 miles? Whatever it is. And then how do you get there? And break it down for yourself so that if they're in bite-sized chunks, they're far easier to accomplish than the main goal of I want to do X. That gets intimidating really fast. I will leave you with this advice. When I was once asked, how do you run 100 miles? My answer was, I don't know. All I know is that I have to run 1 mile 100 times. If I just run that 1 mile 100 times, I will eventually have run a 100 miler. And I know I can run a mile. If you break it down into bite-sized chunks, you can do it.
How do you rejuvenate? Obviously, you're running, biking, swimming, running a business, and you mentioned you cannot burn out. How do you rejuvenate?
I take time for myself. I am a major fan of reality TV shows. I can watch The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Selling Sunset. It allows me to remove myself from my own world for a few minutes to see their world and whatever they're doing in their world and enjoy it and laugh. And I think when I do that, it helps me rejuvenate because I'm not moving, right? So physically, I'm okay. And then mentally, I've checked out from the rest of the world. I put my phone in another room so I can watch, 30, 60, 90 minutes of TV without being bothered by the phone buzzing or dinging or whatever it's going to do. And that allows me to reset myself. Now, my wife will tell you that I have ants in my pants. While we are sitting there watching TV, like my mind will be thinking of, oh, I just saw Kyle Richards, who's on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, do X. And I will ask her, can you take a note? Because I think I'd like to investigate this more for our company. She'll take a note because I don't have my phone with me. We'll circle back to it later on. And if it sounds like a dumb idea when we go back to it later on, we just delete it and move on.
What is your favorite coffee? Because I know you have a daily coffee video on Instagram.
Yeah, I do pour over black. But if I go to a coffee shop, it is usually the largest Americano that they make. I like the taste of the coffee as opposed to the taste of the sugar and cream. I'm not opposed to that because I do drink iced lattes almost consistently 99.9% of the time. It's black pour over or an iced an Americano. It's hot.
Okay.
Very hot.
Okay. What is the vision? How can we find you and who do you want to talk to?
Our community is truly everyday athletes that are looking to support one another. Even if you're in a run club or a triathlon club, come check us out. RunTriMag.com, scroll over to the shop tab, the Everyday Athlete Clubhouse will show up, and you can read about who we are. You can get some testimonials from our community members, clubhouse members in there, and realize that when you join the clubhouse, you're going to get discounts, and that's wonderful. We have marketing partners, business partners that offer discounts, and that'll pay for your membership immediately. But what you're really doing is you're joining a family of people who are going to support you to your finish line, whatever your finish line is. And so, yes, we have athletes that are qualifying for Boston in there. We have athletes that are qualifying for Kona in there. But we also have athletes who finish marathons in 6 hours. We have athletes that miss cutoff times. We have athletes that DNF. And nobody is better than the other in terms of that. And so if you're looking for support that you're not going to get elsewhere, and I only say that because we have testimonials from our community members left, right, and center about how supportive we are as a community and some of the best friends they didn't know they even needed. That's who we want in the clubhouse. Let's come and support. Let's come and challenge each other. Let's come and push each other and make ourselves better, but do it with respect and kindness.
Thank you so much. Respect and kindness. All the best for 2026 and all your trips and running events. Thank you so much, Jason.
Thank you.
What are you taking away? Take it from the Iron Woman. We have episodes every Monday. Come and join us, learn with others and from others. And also Take It from the Iron Woman is the book Global Business Coaching with Sports Parallels. Download it or get it in your local bookstore. We'll see you next time, and thank you for your support. Like us and subscribe to wherever you're listening to this podcast today. Bye-bye. Take care.